Hey everybody, it's Joe DeGanzik and this is Smarter Home Life. I'm back with another product review today. It's a security related product review, a video doorbell. These are really popular these days. This one is again from our friends over at Zmodo. And before I go any further, I should say that this is a video that is made possible by them. They supplied a number of products for review and testing to Smarter Home Life, so you could consider this a sponsored video. So anyways, full disclosure and a big thanks to Zmodo for supplying these products to us to check out. So, a video doorbell, pretty simple device. It's a doorbell that also records video, gives you motion alerts, and allows you to communicate with someone who's at your door, whether you're at home or somewhere else. But of course, the challenge here at the Smarter Home Life tiny house, I don't have a wired-in doorbell, which is generally required for most of these for the best operation. And there are a few from other manufacturers that are battery operated, but most of them perform best when on power. And the Zmodo Greet Video Doorbell only works on actual existing doorbell wiring. So luckily a friend of mine actually decided that he would take up the charge in testing and checking out the video doorbell for a few months, and then he was going to let me come over there and chat with him about his experiences. So it's time for a field trip.
Joe, did you come by to chat about the Zmodo doorbell camera?
Yeah, I did.
Well, super. I'll be right there.
So anyways, Clayton, you were telling me about that you've been adding cameras to your place over the years. And then, of course, I gave you this to test a couple months ago, I think it's been. So tell me about your experience. Like, some people find that they start capturing some interesting things once security cameras are added to their home.
It was odd, the timing for when you gave it to me, because I had, about a year previous, I'd put up some other cameras around my place and was noticing different activity. I never realized actually how busy my neighborhood was until
you actually
cameras were there. And you're like, I found out how busy my cats were at night, which was odd.
I started using security cameras a couple of months ago, and I kind of was like, oh, do I really want to know what potentially goes on? But I guess, it's helpful.
Interestingly, about a week after I installed the Zmodo camera, my other cameras had picked up some motion in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Now, granted, I was dead asleep.
Right.
But it obviously picked up everything, and I woke up to some alerts from the Zmodo camera.
This is actually a live shot. You logged into their site, right? The Zmodo website?
Right.
And then this is the live shot from the Greet doorbell. And from the HD view, so the flag is waving.
Right. And if viewers have any interest, obviously the iOS on my phone.
Right.
For that, I'm assuming they have an Android application. We're watching this live shot through their website through Windows, just like you could through Apple and Safari.
Yeah.
But right after the camera was installed, oddly there was a guy going through the neighborhood in the middle of the night, going door to door, checking vehicle car doors for being locked, and houses.
Scoping the neighborhood.
Scoping the neighborhood out. And what he wound up doing was, as he came down the street, he wound up coming to my front porch, and thinking that he was covering the camera, he was covering the lit up doorbell button, and got amazing screenshots of him that I later turned over to the police, and they matched it up with the guy that they arrested later on that morning, and it just happened to corroborate the story and validate they got the right guy.
That's a great use case. I mean, obviously he was drunk or whatever if he thought that the camera was the light up button.
He put his hand over the
You wonder if he actually
button.
pressed he didn't ring the doorbell.
Did not ring the doorbell.
All right.
No.
Sometimes they do that. So
no, he did not ring the doorbell. He just covered what he thought was the camera.
The
camera is slightly above the doorbell button. That snagged him.
That's great.
So no, that was really cool. Now, what I do like a lot about it is, from the other cameras that I have, I can't tell if somebody's specifically on my front porch.
Okay, for like package
delivery
things. Okay.
Multiple times I get alerts home and away for activity on the front porch.
Okay.
Most of the time it's cars or other traffic.
Right.
But
we're hoping someone's just going to drive by and make the image more interesting.
There was a vehicle went by just a minute ago.
I missed it. Okay.
But just about a week ago, an Amazon package was dropped by. She rang the bell to notify me.
Okay.
And in that rare occasion, the driver was on the porch long enough for me to actually be able to get to the app and then communicate with her.
Right.
More often than not, what happens is the drivers, they're in a hurry.
Right.
They drop the packages off and ring the bell to notify you.
Right.
But by the time you can even get to the app and get to them,
they're gone.
They're back to their truck or gone.
That's it.
That's one of the things. I don't have a lot of door visitors, but the notifications are nice when you know that the mailman's been there,
right.
The packages have been delivered. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool. And you get, obviously, you get the motion notifications, and you also get the doorbell, the physical button notifications as well.
Right, on the phone. Sure.
So that's super helpful. What's been, like, other than that, in terms of, have you had any challenges with the Greet doorbell or any kind of issues with it since you've been using it?
Not since I've been using it. The one thing that I don't like, or I have a little frustration with, is it seems like from the time you get the doorbell alerts, to the time you swipe and the app comes up and you get connected, seems a little bit delayed. A little bit of a lag with that.
And they're working on Zmodo's working on their cloud infrastructure, and they're supposed to be improving that over time, but also they've got a big cloud release coming this summer. So
cool.
With video recording and whatnot, so maybe that's going to go away.
Could be fixed with that. But I noticed that it doesn't matter if I am home on the same Wi-Fi network as the doorbell, or if I'm driving around, or if I'm somewhere else. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But once it connects, I can talk easily, freely.
There.
That's all good.
And the image is live.
The image is great.
It looks,
to me, that's a crazy image to have coming out of a doorbell camera.
Who would have thought 5 years ago, did people have doorbell cameras?
Right.
I mean, it was not a thing.
Yeah, but then again, back 5 years ago, not everybody was having everything delivered.
Everything delivered from Amazon.
There goes a vehicle right there.
Yeah, and a nice, just so much of our lives being captured on video in some level.
For my particular instance, as you guys can see from this shot, obviously the yard, the street, the vehicles, they're lit up well, but because of the shadow in my front porch, it's a little darker. So for daytime face recognition, it's a little more challenging. But at nighttime, and I'll email you a couple pictures in a video.
Right.
The nighttime night vision is fantastic. So he walks up,
and obviously the guy who had his finger over the doorbell was caught, lovely on your camera.
Yeah, but so I think for other applications, depending on where the camera is positioned, what your lighting situation is, obviously you're going to have a different experience than I am with regards to how dark this porch is.
How many total cameras do you have now?
Currently, including the Zmodo doorbell camera, 6.
6. All right. Well, you've got the whole place covered, probably.
Yeah, pretty well. Pretty well. And it's amazing that, and it may be completely mental in my head, the security that you feel. You know activities happening. I don't care if the trash truck is going through the alley. The backyard camera catches it. I know when it happened. Other animals in the yard, I find out if whatever cross traffic in the neighborhood comes through. But I think it gives me a good sense of security knowing what's going on. So I don't want to live without them.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for testing it out. Obviously, you're going to hang on to it and use it. And
I look forward to updates from Zmodo. I think that'd be great.
Absolutely. Thanks for
thanks for letting me do it, Joe.
Absolutely. Thanks for the feedback.
You betcha.
So the Greet Video Doorbell retails for $150. It's available over at Zmodo's website. I'll have a link to that in the video description and over at smarterhomelife.com. You'll see older versions of it, versions that don't look the same, popping up around the web at Best Buy and Amazon, but the current version is available, at least only for the moment. Perhaps they'll expand it out to the other sites. But for right now, it's only over at Zmodo's website. Now, at $150, this is definitely a little bit lower than the competition. This generally goes for most of Zmodo's products. I think that you're still getting a really good value because you're getting all of the core features, right? People buy these products because they want to know what's going on outside. Maybe you have, like Clayton does, a number of other security cameras, but having that video doorbell right at your front door, you know when people have dropped off packages, you know when someone who's walking around the house who shouldn't be. And obviously, if someone actually does ring the doorbell, you can communicate with them, or at least you know that you've got that log history of people who actually rang the bell. Whether they stayed, to chat with you or not is a whole different question. And the night vision capabilities are quite excellent with the quality of the images that you saw that was captured by Clayton's Greet. So I still think that Zmodo's products are a pretty good value for the money, and that you should take a look at possibly getting one if it does make sense for you. Now, I wanted to say again a quick thank you to Clayton for testing the product out and for letting me head over to his place and talk to him about his experiences. And of course, a big thanks to our friends over at Zmodo for sending along a few different products. There's one more review coming up in the next couple weeks. Again, a security related product. So again, thank you to Zmodo for supplying these to make these reviews possible. And speaking of saying thanks, I want to say thank you in advance to wonderful people like you who help out Smarter Home Life every single month. And recently also with the big campaign to move, because this whole place, this tiny little place, has got to be picked up, packed up, and moved on to a whole new place relatively soon. And there was an entire crowdfunding campaign to make that happen. Smarter Home Life relies on a few different sources to keep the lights on, but we definitely are in need of your kind contributions to make the upcoming move happen and to keep things going strong for the future. If you can help out, head over to gofundme.com/smarterhomelife, where you can be part of the process to pick the new location and all of the technology that's going to go in to the new smart home. So I will say thank you in advance. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube right here if you haven't already. Follow us across social media and, of course, at the newly redesigned smarterhomelife.com. I'm Joe Deganzik. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.